Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.
Sitting up in my room, back here thinking about you, I must confess, I'm a mess for you. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another phenomenal episode of My Momma Told Me.
The podcast where we dive deep into the pockets of black conspiracy theories.
And we finally work to prove the theories that you, the listener, have at home. It's a motherfucking mini episode.
Come on.
What are you thinking? It's mini.
What do you guys think? We're going to listen and we're going to read some shit you said.
Yeah.
Could be good, could be bad.
Could be terrible. And that's on y'all.
But we're going to read it because we have committed. We have committed to doing this podcast twice a week. God damn it.
That's the only way it happens. Yeah. We got an email. You're going to read it. I'm going to
read it. We got an email. Love the title. And that's kind of where we went from. The title of this email, Those Uncut Gems.
There we go.
This person does not want us to say their name. Hi, Langston and David. Hi, David and Langston. It doesn't matter.
David and Langston. Yeah.
Certified white devil woman who lives in the Midwest here. I'm listening to your latest episode about circumcision, and I have some field research to share. I've seen upward of 50 dicks. Damn.
Wow. Congratulations.
Good for you. I like it. You're out there living. I don't know how old you are. And the majority of them have been uncircumcised. That's got to be a regional thing, right?
Yeah, it felt when I read that sentence the first time, not knowing more, because she sort of explains more as we go along, but I will say it felt like, okay, either you live in a weird pocket of America or you don't fuck here. You know what I mean?
Or maybe she's just like one of those white ladies who goes to the African clubs.
Oh, right. Like you've leaned in on the type of people that you're gonna have sex with.
Oh, see, they seem like some of the happiest women I've ever seen in the world. Okay. Just excited to be there. Okay, and a majority of them have been uncircumcised. While the cut ones are prettier to look at, the uncut ones are my preferred mode of transportation. Let's go. I find them easier to work with for manual and oral stimulation, as I don't need quite as much spit to ensure a smooth experience. There we go. I concur with the findings that the uncircumcised penis are more sensitive and you get more bang for your buck in terms of feeling like an absolute sex goddess with the slightest touch. I haven't noticed a significant difference in my pleasure, but that's a date point I'll take note of going forward.
Whoa. Okay, so she's saying pound for pound, she's seen more uncircumcised penises and they have been more to her liking than the alternative.
It sounds like she likes the features. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's she's like either way, she's driving a Camry, but she wants the power windows, and I think that's nice.
She's gonna pay extra for the leather seats.
Right. She needs the backup cam, baby. Okay.
Yeah, this one don't come with a CD drive, my man. You gotta pay for that.
MP3s. She says, it does bear mentioning that most of these penises have belonged to men who were born outside of the U.S. or who were born to immigrant parents.
There we go.
Okay. The exception.
We're out here fucking foreigners, folks.
Yeah. Which, God bless her. Somebody has to. The exception being Muslim men. They're circumcised no matter what the country of origin, in my experience, which I think is vast. It's also worth noting that size and circumcision don't seem to correlate. I've seen some massive cut dicks and some tiny little uncut ones and vice versa. I don't agree to disagree. And in my experience...
Wait a minute. Let's be clear here. Is your argument that just by not getting cut, your shit is just bigger than what it would have been if it were cut?
I think that you know how a goldfish grows to the size of the tank?
Whoa.
I think if you limit the size of the tank, you limit the size of your goldfish.
And you're saying that extra skin is just a bigger tank for your pee-pee to grow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Powerful stuff here.
It's not a terrible theory. I've had worse. I have had worse on here. She says, and in my experience, race and or nationality don't seem to be deciding factors in size either. Penises really do run the gamut. Love the podcast and can't wait to watch both of your specials. I'm going to sign off with a pseudonym since my ex listens to the pod and I don't need him knowing my business. I think that he did. I think that he's probably figured it out by the stats you dropped.
Wait a minute. This person fucked 50 people at the United Nations. Diane, is that you? Diane, you bitch. Stop telling everybody.
And then she says, foreskinly yours, Izzy Uncut.
Izzy Uncut. Thank you, Izzy.
Thank you,
for
Izzy,
this.
for normalizing cool dicks.
I think Izzy certainly has given us a lot to think about. I don't know how normalized I would say this makes it. But I will say, and maybe this is absolutely worth mentioning. I mentioned that I had a son very recently. Thank you. And one of the things that we found out, and this is only through experience, is that in LA or in California, I think it might be everywhere, but specifically California, the OB is the person, the gynecologist is the person that's meant to do the I guess it's the OB. It's not the gynecologist because they're not always the same. But the OB is the person that's meant to do the circumcision. The person that delivers the baby is meant to do the circumcision. And in the case of my wife, her OB doesn't do circumcisions. So we were at the hospital like, yo, ready to get my man taken care of while we're here. You know, when the trauma isn't like fresh and we don't really know him that much.
You'd much rather do that to a stranger, I understand.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
and as quickly as possible, and then just start our life, you know, sort of like in repair from there. And they were like, oh, she doesn't do them. You got to schedule a separate appointment with a separate doctor, which then took basically 2 weeks. And so he just got circumcised, and it is traumatic as a parent, way more than I anticipated.
Oof.
Like there were multiple.
How's he looking at you? Kind of crazy.
He had a couple days where he was sort of like, bro, what the fuck? I really thought it would be much more like we're in the fucking recovery room and they take him away for a few minutes and then he comes back and his penis is different. And instead it's a lot of like, we had to put numbing cream on him beforehand and then they had to inject him and we had to like be in the room sort of like while he was having, and he was fine. And it's a very simple procedure, but even the doctor was very frankly upfront being like, this is not, if at any point you guys are doing this because you felt some like moral obligation, it's not that. There's no major differences here other than a preference, and this is truly a cosmetic surgery.
Okay, he didn't say anything about the goldfish thing?
Nah, he didn't mention a goldfish thing, but I didn't ask either. I don't think I had the foresight to know that was a possibility. Or the foreskin, frankly. I don't have either.
How do you feel in hindsight, having seen the process from that angle? Does it change any of your feelings about it?
Admittedly, it made me feel like I was kind of doing this in a selfish way as it was happening. Like it did not feel at all like, oh, this was altruistic. But then I also felt like, well, I'm not doing any harm to this person.
Right.
This is not going to be some weird lasting thing. But it is sort of like, oh, I didn't have to do this. And like our dicks matching is not like a hugely necessary thing for him to be able to function out in the world. I'm mostly
never seen my
doing
dad's dick. I'm fine.
Yeah, and I mean this. I'm going to say this respectfully. I want to know my son more. I'd like us to be closer than you and your father.
Now that's reasonable. That's fair.
I think it's got a better chance of coming up with us. But I hope this podcast changes that. I hope you and your father reconnect, show each other your dicks. I hope all of that happens. Yeah, it made me feel a little selfish in a way that I didn't anticipate until I was being held accountable by the bureaucracy of medicine.
I mean, the good thing, though, is ultimately you moved in a way that you felt like was most beneficial for your son, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I do think it was for him mostly.
If it comes out little, though,
in the
that's
grand
on you.
scheme of things, yeah. If it does come out little, I am going to think about that quite a bit, though.
Like post-puberty.
Yeah, I'm going to be like, fuck, man.
Damn. That's on me, son.
You could have been this big. You could have been huge.
Could have been one of the greats.
So I hear Izzy, and I think this is a valid little piece of research that she's
thank you for
provided.
sharing that. Truly. I think that it is. I think it's also good for someone to be like, I've seen a gang of them. They work the same. I think there is somewhat of a stigma, if you want, about there being an actual difference when there really isn't much.
Yeah, and I think that is maybe the greater lesson that I learned through this process, and it sounds like Izzy learned through a different kind of process, is that they run the gamut, but they are in some ways all the same as well. They truly are all the things, and yet the same goddamn thing, and it really just comes down to preference and familiarity.
Beautiful.
Well, we did it.
I think we did something.
I think we did something. You want to tell the people where they can find you? What you got going on?
Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram. I've been saying it. I got a comedy special. It drops August the 1st. It's called Birth of a Nation. It's very, very funny. You can view it. You can purchase it on patreon.com/David Bory. Sign up for my free Patreon. Go on. There's over 30 different videos of behind the scenes content, interviews with friends of mine, old content that I made years ago, and vlogs, just so you can kind of get to know me so you understand the special. It's very funny. Also watch Exploding Kittens on Netflix. I'm on 4 or 5 episodes or some shit. They kill me at the end, but they're still good.
Whoa, don't spoil it.
Oh, they don't kill me at the end.
What are you doing?
I don't know.
I was actually gonna watch. I was excited.
Oh, no, you should watch.
Yeah, I like animated shit, and it sounds really funny. You're funny.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
I bet it's really funny. Anyway, you can follow me at Langston Kerman, and you can watch my special August 20th on Netflix. It's called Bad Poetry. And if you want to send us your own drops, your own conspiracy theories, if you want to tell us about the 75 dicks you've been with and how they're a more clear breakdown selection than Izzy's selection of dicks, then send it all to mymommapod@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. Buy the merch, rate, review, subscribe, tally ho. That's all I know. Bye, bitch.
I want you to know this. If your prayers include me to stop drinking, stop smoking, and stop having fun, and stop watching these little bitches pop their ass, if your prayers include any of those things, they're not going to work because I'm rejecting them all, and I will be continuing in my same wicked ass motherfucking ways. I guess that's the way you want to put it.
Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.
My mama told me.
Motherfucking mini episode. Mini episode. Motherfucking mini episode.